This is the Inquisitive Minds Podcast.
Thank you for tuning into the Inquisitive Minds Podcast. I'm your host, as usual, Johnny Smith. Today with me as a guest, we have a Marine veteran, a freelance artist, a musician, and author of the Smokepit Fairytales series, Tripp. Welcome to the program, Tripp.
Hey, man. How you doing? Thanks for having me on.
Thank you for coming on. First and foremost, we recently heard that Joe Biden's projected to win the election. Can I get your reaction to that?
Well, I mean, do you mean the election overall or him specifically winning?
Give me a little bit of both.
So here's the thing. Everyone likes to say, or everybody's, spitting up right now that, the election was rigged, which no one ever, it's not like they say that every election about whatever side's losing, like every election. Oh my God, it was rigged. But my thing on that though, is it is rigged, but not in the way you think. So think about it, right? Yeah, these votes coming in. I'm like, oh, well, maybe these counted, these didn't, or these are fraudulent or whatever. However, if you back it up just a little bit, that's between the Democrats and the Republicans, right? Now, there are at least 20 political parties that had people running for president, and they didn't get the chance to get up to the point where you would see and know about them to vote for them in the first place or hear their platforms, because there is, for lack of a better word, a conspiracy between the two big political parties and the media to suppress other political ideologies. So it's not so much that it's rigged for the Democrats against the Republicans. It's the Democrats or the Republicans are going to win, and it's rigged against literally everybody else that might want to have a new idea to come to the stage.
That actually sounds very reasonable.
Yeah. The other thing, you can't get into the debates unless, you're not going to win the election unless you're in the debates, and you can't get into the debates unless you have, you're polling at least 15%, and you're not going to poll at 15% if either two things, one, people are talking about you, i.e. the media, which you didn't hear any of that shit, or B, you are in the polls in the first place. What Howie Hawkins and Joe Jorgensen, the Green and Libertarian candidates, there's I think 5 main polls they look at for who's going to be in the debates. Those two were in one of them and not in the other 4. So it's well, sorry, you couldn't get in the debates because you couldn't make it in the polls. It's well, could you put them in the polls? Maybe.
The only way to break into that would be a big personality. Some type of celebrity saying, okay, I want to run, and not like Kanye West, but if The Rock decided, I think he could get onto the polls.
Right. Someone
like that. But it's definitely seems like it's rigged. I'll agree with you on that. What's your reaction on Joe Biden himself?
So Joe Biden himself, I think, is an absolutely fucking terrible, disgusting human being. And this is coming from someone who wanted either Tulsi Gabbard or Yang to get into it. Because I'm an independent. I tend to vote libertarian just because, hey, fuck the big guys.
I feel
it. If you look at Biden's history, and if you look at Trump's history, what's hilarious about it is Trump was 100% right about Biden, and Biden was exactly 100% right about Trump. Everything negative they said about each other was fucking accurate.
Yeah. My favorite line, who built the cages, Joe?
Yeah, no, and that's the thing, though, is we can absolutely fault Trump for not closing those, but maybe don't attack the guy that's using the thing that you built.
Yeah, I agree. I agree completely with that. And now that if Joe Biden goes through, because there's obviously going to be pullback from the Republican and Trump, it's going to be a mess. But
the Bush Gore thing, exact same fucking situation. They called it for Gore, and then won.
Yeah, that's going to cause a lot of outrage if that happens. But if Joe takes office, I imagine the kids in cages thing is going to be swept under the fucking rug again.
Yeah, I mean, there was a reason Joni McPeace Price's other nickname was the Deporter in Chief.
Mm-hmm.
That, and if you look at the stuff that Biden has done, which really isn't a whole lot, you know how everybody complains about systematic racism in the United States?
Yeah.
A lot of that comes from the 94 crime bill. So the people that were trying to get rid of racism voted for the guy who made systematic racism in America more possible than it already was.
It's so counterproductive. But their argument was, because I voted for Joe Jorgensen myself.
Yeah, me too.
But their argument was he's better than Trump. You know, he's not as evil as Trump. And I always looked at it as you mentioned the crime bill. They care less about Joe's actions and more about Trump's words.
Yeah, no, it's the same thing with Donald Trump. Like, if you look at policy, Trump did do a lot of good shit. He just has a fucking Twitter and a loud fucking mouth.
Yeah,
and
he's not knowing to shut the fuck up.
Yeah. One of the things that I would say is I don't know anybody that the Trump administration, I don't know anybody personally who is dead because of the Trump administration. I know multiple people that are dead directly because of the Obama-Biden administration. Case in point, one of the things that Obama and Biden got elected on was, hey, we're going to pull out of Iraq and Afghanistan and fuck all this war noise. And then as soon as they get in the office, both those wars ramp way back up because they build the fucking military and shove them back into the...
What years did you serve?
I served from 2006 until 2018, and I went to Afghanistan.
Right in shit.
Yeah, I went to Afghanistan in 2008, 9, and 10, and then did deployments on ship after that.
Well, first and foremost, thank you for your service.
Oh, dude, yeah, thank you.
Inquisitive Minds podcast. We love our servicemen here, so thank you for that. So that obviously influenced your opinion on those guys in the war situation.
Yeah.
Did things get worse or better in the service itself?
They got, I would say, not detrimentally worse, but definitely a lot worse. So, like, my first deployment was under George Bush, right? Mm-hmm. And the way that they had their strategy set up was, we're here to win this war. Fucking, if we have to interact with locals, great. If anybody fucks with us, we're gonna fucking kill them. On my second deployment, which was under Obama, they completely changed like all the rules of engagement. So it's like, hey, listen, I know you're getting shot at right now, but no one's been like shot yet, so you guys can't return fire.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's not like I'm in a war trying to fucking like survive or anything, but at the same time, it was fucked up because guys on the ground couldn't like do that shit. But there's like a terrorist or like a suspected violent extremist in a wedding party, and there's like 300 people there. Let's just drone strike that real quick.
Oh, okay.
Get it over with. So it's weird. So like we couldn't shoot them on the ground, but we have a drone doing it. We could pretend like it wasn't us. It was shady as fuck.
Yeah, it probably something with the image. Maybe it looks better if you don't got your soldiers slaughtering people and you're doing it with technology.
Right, but there was this other time we rolled up to this compound on the side of a mountain. The night before, a C-130 came in and just fucking obliterated like this whole like area of buildings that were being used to make IED material and trade heroin. And we go up there the next day to do a battle damage assessment, and they're freaking out because they thought a dragon came out and smoked this fucking village. And we're like, yeah, a dragon came out and smoked this village. We're like, yeah, a dragon came out of the mountain, smoked this. Why would a dragon come out of the mountain and smite this village? Well, I don't know. I guess he just didn't like us. I'm like, you sure you guys weren't like, burning guns or building IEDs or kind of smells like heroin out here, but
that's wild, man. I didn't realize people still like had those types of ideas about the
it's a completely different like world. Like, we have over here and I hate the people that use the word privilege, but we have a very fucking privileged fucking society that we live in. Like in places like Afghanistan, what you have over there is you're effectively in the Stone Age, except for somebody gave them cell phones and AK-47s. Like,
that's wild, man.
Yeah. Like, they're like, and these people are also like super remote. There's like no communications, even like domestically. And Afghanistan isn't even really its own country. Pretty much what it is Afghanistan's a plot of land that the Iranians don't want, the Chinese don't want, the Pakistanis don't want. It's just like there. And if you talk to most villagers outside of the capital city of Kabul, they don't know what the fuck Afghanistan is. They live in Bakwa or Washir or Delaram.
That's crazy, man. I had no idea any of this, actually. You would think as long as we'd been over there, we'd be more educated on it.
Well, when I was there in, I want to say it was 2010, we went out to like, hey, nobody's been out here. Let's go out here and talk to these guys. And we get out there and we have our interpreter, and this like old fucking dude comes out and he's like, oh man, I haven't seen you guys in a while. I was like, what do you mean you haven't seen us in a while? No one's been up here in however long. You guys are Russians, right? And we're like, dude, that war ended like 30 years ago. And he's like, oh
wow.
Well, I haven't left the mountain in 30 years. So what's your guys' shtick?
Now, you said you got out in 2018?
Yeah.
So when Trump came in office in 2016, what changed in the service then?
Not a lot immediately because it's not like, hey, day one I'm changing everything. It's new policies, this, that, and whatever. But I didn't deploy under Trump, but we did get, I guess, a little bit better funding and better morale type issues. But I don't necessarily know if that's a good thing. Like, I mean, it is at surface level. However, I would state that, like, how everybody wants like universal health care for this or whatever. We could absolutely do that with surplus money in there if we cut the DoD's budget back 75%, and if the military was forced to spend responsibly, there would be no functional changes. Like it's all kinds of fucking shit. Like big scale, like the what is it? The not the F-22, the F-35, right? Like we poured billions and billions of dollars into that to make this like super secret, stealth fighter or whatever. But, like one idiot, left the blueprints for it in the wrong place back in like 2007. It's like, no, the Chinese have this now. So congratulations. We just dumped all this money into that for nothing. I think it was like 2 years ago. The Pentagon had $30 billion that they couldn't account for how they spent it, which I imagine was, Black Ops stuff, or it might be the, stop the aliens from invading fucking fund. But
no, we're not skipping over that. Let's jump into that. That's right for the podcast.
Yeah.
Aliens. What's your take?
So given the size of the universe, it's mathematically impossible for there not to be aliens.
I agree.
And then also, if there is some type of God, it's both ignorant and arrogant to think that we're the only thing he made, considering how big the universe is. However, them coming here, that's up to debate.
Now my first introduction into like alien type stuff was actually the book by William Cooper. What is it? Behold a Pale Horse or something like that.
I haven't read that.
Okay. Well, he was a Navy man originally when he first started seeing UFOs.
Yeah.
And I've heard a lot of stories from servicemen with UFOs. I don't know what it's been like for you, but have you seen anything that would lead you to believe?
In alien UFOs, I've seen a lot of stuff in the news that would make me think that, like, especially that, like when the Pentagon released shit earlier this year, it's like, hey, listen, we got UFOs. You don't know where the fuck they come from. They're doing this, which is technologically impossible. And then like no one gave a shit because, COVID and Trump. But as far as stuff I've seen personally, I've seen some weird shit, but I am almost 100% certain that it's our stuff. Like, so the Navy SEALs use this fucking helicopter that does not look like a fucking helicopter. It looks kind of like a cross between a Frisbee and then like a mechanically inclined fucking Pokemon. And I mean, I know for a fact that there's Navy SEALs in that they're repelling out of it. And like, you can't find pictures of this shit on the internet because it's like super fucking classified. But like, I want to say it was my third deployment. We had some Navy SEALs come to the ship to go do a operation. And like, they locked the fucking ship down. It's like, hey, listen, fucking turn in your fucking, like, everybody, like, give your fucking phones or your fucking iPods to like your commanding officer, because like we're not risking anybody fucking taking pictures of that shit. And I saw one for like 3 seconds because they also wouldn't let you up on the flight deck, but the smoking area was on the side and they weren't supposed to go around to this side of the ship, but they did. And I was like, what the fuck is that? That must be that fucking helicopter. That must be the reason we're not allowed to have fucking cameras on the boat right now.
See, it's wild that in this world of I don't know, cameras everywhere and social media and everybody wants to post every goddamn thing, that they're still able to have such stuff under like Black Ops and Secret Ops.
Well, that's the thing about that though, is like, how they have that joke about like how everybody in the military is, just regular fucking person. Because most of us, are. And that, if I saw aliens, I would totally fucking talk about this, that, whatever. But I've seen enough stuff that, had nothing to do with, aliens or anything, just, regular operation shit where people still don't fucking talk about it because you're not allowed to fucking talk about it. So it's like, if there were aliens here and there was a conspiracy, I could absolutely believe that it would stay quiet because they keep that tight of a grip on it. But the other thing with that though is back in the 80s and the 70s, like the big UFOs everybody saw, they weren't flying saucers. They were this big boomerang triangle looking thing, right?
Yes.
And then, was it 1991? We go into Desert Storm. We just obliterate fucking Iraq. And then afterwards, we're like, oh, and by the way, we did it with the stealth bomber. We've had this thing for like 30 years. We're fucking badasses. Don't fuck with us. And then everybody's like, that's a big black triangle, really quiet thing. So I think a lot of the UFO sightings are just aircraft that.
Okay. My first episode was on Roswell, and that's a very famous alien crash site, but it's also right next to what became the first Air Force base, essentially.
Yeah.
So, coincidental,
I've heard some interesting stuff about that one though too, because like interesting stuff that like, you have the obvious, it was aliens, or it was just some type of fighter plane that they didn't want it to be whatevered out. But there's also a lot of interesting theories about stuff that they would still make it secret, even though it wasn't anything otherworldly. Because I don't know how well versed you are in this, but at the end of World War II, pretty much all the Nazis that survived went down to South America and set up like a Fourth Reich. And there's a theory
right?
Yeah, and there's a theory that the thing that crashed in Roswell was a Argentinian Nazi spy plane. And you remember that's like what, 40, was that 47 or 51?
47.
Yeah, it was 47. So if this thing crashed and they said, hey, listen, hate to break it to you guys, the Nazis are still around, everyone would have fucking like lost their fucking shit. So that's one of those things where it's like, should you have kept it a secret?
Well, there's
debatable, but I understand.
There's an alien crash in Kecksburg, I think is the proper term, Kecksburg, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I've been there. Don't go. It's fucking boring as shit.
That's what I hear. The only thing notable about that is that alien thing. But one of the more obscure theories is it was this Third Reich time traveling capsule that phased to there and crashed there.
Maybe not time traveling, but there's this thing called the Bell.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the Bell. Yeah, it looks just like the shape of whatever that thing was, and it definitely could have been that. The other thing with that though is they described that as being fiery. Looking at when it came down, and you could say, meteoroid, asteroid, aircraft that had some catastrophic failure and went down. But in World War II, there was these things called Foo Fighters that nobody knew what the fuck they were, but American fighter pilots were like, hey, there's these big burning balls of light that keep shooting down our shit. What do we do about that? And then when they would get debriefed, they're like, hey, listen, you don't fucking talk about that ever to anybody. And then, the 70s roll around and these guys have been out of the military for 20 years. And they're like, yeah, fuck it. So I saw this shit, right? Mm-hmm. And they told me to shut up about it. And then I never found out what it was.
Well, I talked to some guys that were disappointed once they left the service. Like they felt like they gave their lives to it. And then when you leave, it's like, all right, move out of the way. We got someone in line next. Like they felt very disillusioned by it. And I would imagine a lot of these people that talk about this crazy shit feel that way after they leave, and then they say, oh, well, fuck them. I'm going to talk about it now.
Right. And there's different levels of that. There's there's a big difference between you see something weird and then your commander says, hey, don't fucking talk about that. Shut up. And you see, or you're part of something weird and before you went into it being weird, they're like, hey, listen, there's gonna be some weird shit. You're never allowed to talk about this with anybody. You're signing all this fucking paperwork. You know what you're signing up for, not in the military, but like in the whatever fucking levels of it. And your entire life's gonna fucking change because of this shit going on. And if you don't want part of this, now's the fucking time to leave. And then, some dudes are like, nah, dude, I don't want to do that shit. And then other people are like, yeah, dude, I'm in. And they go do their stuff and they can never fucking talk about it. But they agree not talking about it before they knew what it was.
That's definitely got to be a maddening feeling.
Probably, yeah.
It's like if you do see an alien and then unfortunately no one believes you, it's going to drive you nuts because you know what you saw. So you're a freelance artist. I've seen some paintings you've done. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
I mean, like I've always drawled or doodled or whatever the hell it was, since I was a little kid. And then at some point I got into watercolor and I really like the way that worked out. I do watercolor, I guess, quote unquote, the wrong way, because you're pretty much supposed to, and when I say supposed to, I'm saying, like high art world, posh bourgeoisie bullshit. You're supposed to, like take the paint, let the water flow with it freely and let it go all over the place. It's like, no, you can control this and make it work like, like markers or fucking oil paint. Like it's not going to look like that, but you can control the media in that sense. But that's folk art plebe shit. So,
so what kind of, would you describe your art as folk art?
I mean, yes. technically no, like, because folk art is like that old lady at the flea market that paints flowers on the side of gourds or whatever. But in reality, if you're not using your art to launder money for your rich friends, then yeah, it's folk art.
Now, do you sell your art? Do you?
Yeah, I do. And I'm open for commissions too. If people ask, hey, listen, you paint me this, I'm like, yeah, I can do this for you, that for you, this for you, and then.
Do you have a place where you sell them, or is it just essentially someone reaches out and you can paint?
So like I have most of my art listed on smokepitfairytales.com, and there is like a commission page on there where it's got like the layout of, hey, listen, if you want this, that's gonna be $20. If you want this, that's gonna be $50. If you want this, we're gonna have to talk about it, but it's gonna be somewhere between 250 and $500. But we'll nail that out before it. However, no one has ever used that. It's always been like no, it's always been like somebody hits me up on Instagram or Facebook. It's like, hey, dude, listen, I know you do commissions. Can we talk here? It's like, yeah, dude, fucking, if you're gonna pay me on PayPal and the taxes aren't taken out of the fucking website, we don't have to fucking talk about. I mean, I don't do that. I do not do anything under the table.
I completely agree. Everything is above the board over here.
Yeah. Yes, the government gets all the money that it's entitled to.
That's great. That's phenomenal. Taxation is theft.
Yeah.
So you also do music. Like you've done some music for the other podcast with Dan Brady I'm on. What History. Go into your music a little bit.
Again with that, been playing guitar for, I want to say I was like 13ish. My parents went through like a really fucked up divorce, and then I got drug up to Ohio from Florida, and the only things to do there are find something to do in your room or drugs. And I mean, I like to smoke and drink my drugs. Like I don't need to be doing friggin' what was it? I mean, a little weed here and there. That's one thing, but I don't need to be doing fucking crack when I'm fucking 14. So
yeah, you don't need to be starting out 14 doing crack.
Yeah, but like I had nothing to do. I fucking hated where I was at. Fucking that side of the family's all fucked up. I still don't fucking talk to them.
I had to suck going from Florida to Ohio. Like, ugh.
Yeah, no, and then so I just hung out in my room and fucking played guitar all the time, and then I don't know, got half decent at it. And then that song that Dan has on or that you guys have on excuse me, What in the History is kind of a roundabout way of saying it is that song is from a soundtrack that I did from my own books. So
okay.
Yeah, so like the first, all my books are illustrated, but like when I was writing the fourth one, I was like, wait a minute, I know how to play music too. I can make these guys play guitar and then throw that in the back of it. So there is an accompanying soundtrack that you can get on iTunes or Spotify or whatever. But in books 4, 5, and 6, there's also the sheet music in the back if you want to play it yourself.
That's pretty cool, and that's a good segue. You're the author of the Smokepit Fairytales series. There's 6 books right now.
6 right now, yes.
Okay, and I've read many reviews of things in my life, but I want to say these books have some of the craziest fucking reviews I've ever read on Amazon.
Yeah, I think my favorite one was not reading this book is basically burning the American flag. This is the most American thing since landing on the moon.
What motivated you to start writing, or how did you get into it?
So again, mostly started off with short stories or like little comics I would draw, and then I would hear people say shit or just have these fucking like outrageous fucking conversations, usually on the smoke pit, which is the designated smoking area outside of the barracks, because you can't smoke inside, so you go outside to smoke, and then since you're already outside smoking and someone else has got beer, that's just where you fucking hang out. And I got to this point where like people would say just like this fucked up funny story shit, and what I would is I had this like little black moleskin book, and I'd like, oh, that was funny, I'm fucking writing that down for future use or whatever. And then at some point I decided to put them, I read a book called The Raggedy Ass Marines, which is what inspired me, but that book was a bunch of letters back and forth between these 2 Korean and Vietnam War vets just saying, hey, listen, look, check out the shit I did this week. Oh, you think that was cool? Look what I did. And I was like, I could do something similar to that.
It's very creative.
Yeah. But then I got to the point where it was like, well, I mean, yeah, short story, little snippet, like 2 paragraph, whatever's, that's cool. But What if instead of, making this shit that actually happened, I, make up a few characters and then have all this fucked up shit happen to these two guys?
So that's what it follows, two guys, and the reviews obviously had war, things like this, but also hot alien chicks, I believe I read in one.
Yeah.
So I don't want to spoil the book, but can you give us a little run through of the synopsis of how that intertwines? Because I think that's fascinating.
So, pretty much, and granted, I'm going to throw a few spoilers out here, so I'm sorry, guys, if you haven't. If you're watching in the future, pause this, go read my books, and then come back.
Well, if they have a problem with you spoiling it, he's the fucking author.
Yeah, so you got these two guys, Hank and his corpsman buddy Doc, and they're, Lance Corporal E3 assholes running around Southern California. And then Iran invades Iraq, so they, get mobilized, get sent to Iraq, and then while they're in Iraq, they get separated from their platoon and get stuck in this cave, and this cave ends up being this old Babylonian temple or whatever, and then everybody dies besides Hank and Doc, and they accidentally become immortal.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and then it's a couple weeks, maybe about a month later, they finally make the push into Iran, and they both get hit with an artillery shell, and they're supposed to be dead, but they end up just being in a coma for 2 years. And then when they wake up in the brain dead ward, everybody's freaking out. So you're supposed to be dead. And then I maintain that I traded the Marines eating crayons thing, because Hank makes a joke about he's like, well, my first sergeant thinks that I'm brain dead, but that doesn't stop me from eating crayons. Oh wait, no, it doesn't not stop me from. I don't eat crayons, all right. And I wrote that in 2014, which was way before these fucking memes, so I'm taking credit for that. But I wanted aliens in it for a reason that comes into play a lot later. But what I had with the first contact was that first contact came while these guys were in a coma. So they wake up and they go to San Diego and they're like, wait a minute, what the fuck why are there no. So I was asleep for this. Cool. Got it. And then the main character, Hank, he ends up getting together with one of the alien chicks. And then in the second book, the second book's about.
That's wild.
Yeah. Well, the second book is about World War III. They're on a training mission in East Europe when the Russians push in, but the Russians are using alien technology to take over Europe. And it's kind of funny. I outlined some, I don't want to say stereotypes, but accuracies about the failings of the United States military, to where Russia's coming in with all these fucking giant alien robots that they built in fucking Moscow. And then these guys were on a training mission. So they don't even really have ammo. And they're like, hey, so, are we going to get something to fight these things? Or it's like, yeah, no. The command says they'll be here in 3 weeks. All right, cool. The war's gonna be over by then, but
we're fucked.
Yeah. So, I think the first few chapters of the book, they're fighting alongside, British and German giant robots, because the American ones can't show up for a bit.
Now, I pictured a couple types of robots in my head.
Yeah.
Since you said that, these giant robots, they look like big Iron Men, or.
So I set it up to where the Russian ones kind of looks like almost like blocky tank with legs. So think BattleTech.
Okay.
Or MechWarrior, that kind of thing. Except for obviously change it a little bit, and then change the name, and then make up my own shit. Just use them as a basis because lawsuits are a thing. And then the American ones, I'm sorry, the rest of the European ones were more inspired by say Gundam.
Okay.
And the American ones were based off of Robotech, where ours were pretty much F-18s that could flip out and transform and then walk for a few minutes.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now, recently, you're doing all this. You're trying to provide a life for yourself. You're doing your music. You're writing books. You're promoing all this. Recently, you had some, I guess, I don't even know what to call it. Maybe censorship issues. You got banned or blocked on Instagram, or.
Yeah. Instagram and Facebook just fucking totally deleted all my shit. I ended up getting Instagram back, but they didn't tell me what it was for. They just said I violated the terms of services. But they didn't tell me what I posted or what it was. And I just spammed the fuck out of their customer service email account for a few days. It was 30 emails a day. And then they're like, oh, sorry, our bad, here you go. And then I've been trying to do the same for Facebook, but Facebook's got me on some fucking weird thing where before it got taken down, I think this has to do with what was going on Facebook. because Facebook and Instagram are owned by the same place. But I want to say for a few days before everything got shut down, I wasn't allowed to comment that was either a political post or like a page. Like I could talk to, or I could leave comments on like my friend's stuff. But if I shared, like, say, an article from NPR, I couldn't leave a comment on the post that I shared from NPR.
That's wild. Now, there's a lot of talk about censorship on there, and I don't know. It could be a conspiracy. It could be right. But
conspiracy is a word that was conjured up by people that don't want you to know the truth.
Okay, we'll run with that for now. But like shutting down your political articles in a way that's got to make you feel a little bit good because they're like, oh, maybe he has some influence.
Yeah, well, I mean, yes and no. I went on the internet. Apparently, that happened to a lot of people, primarily people that were sharing shit for the third party.
Mm-hmm.
They let all the Biden people stay up. They let all the Trump people stay up. Everybody that was Hawkins or Jorgensen, they just shut that down because I think initially they got scared. But at the end of the day, it's like, dude, that's kind of bullshit. Like, look, I want a third party president, but I know for a fact it ain't going to happen. So, like, what are you worried about, Facebook?
I'll be honest. When I saw that morning that your stuff got taken down, I immediately stopped sharing my third party stuff for a couple days. I lightened up pretty good.
Yeah.
Like I communicate too much on there. I can't, it's got to be rough. It's got to be maddening, especially when you don't know for sure what you did.
Yeah, no, and the other thing that like really pissed me off about it is like where I live, I don't have cell phone service. Like I use Facebook Messenger to talk to people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, all right, cool. I guess I'm not talking to my fucking family this week. Good job.
Yeah, that sucks, man. And still never got. See, that's what bugs me about these companies is they don't give you a reason.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck did I do? I had an incident a few months back where it was about a month long. My account got shut down maybe 100 times and they told me it was fraud and I had to reset my password, but they didn't ever tell me what for. And then one day it just fucking stopped. I remember one night, my account got banned 13 times in the same day. And I would reset my password and they'd be like, oh, fraud. And I'd be like, what the fuck is going on? I sent a bunch of emails. Nobody ever even got back to me.
So one of the things I think goes into that, and once again, I can't prove this. I can't find it anywhere, but I think what happens with that is if you have a post or something and someone reports it, they automatically take action. And then it's up to you to prove that you didn't do that. However, they don't tell you what the fucking post was. So you just have to be like, to my knowledge, I did not intentionally violate the terms and services or commit hate speech or abuse or bullying or anything. What's up, guys? Help me out.
I remember I got a Facebook ban one time because I was commenting on somebody's shit and I just put Whitey is the devil. The white man is the devil. And they fucking took that down immediately. Someone, I imagine, reported it. And it's like, why do you got to report shit like that? Are you really that goddamn sensitive?
Yeah, just scroll past it. Like, there's a reason you're fucking following me, motherfucker.
Yeah. Like, I know I ruffle feathers, but fuck, stop reporting shit. It's pointless.
Yeah, no, I can only imagine what kind of fucking shit would be going on if I could say whatever the fuck I wanted on fucking social media. Like, I guarantee you, if there was no terms or services, I'd have 1 million followers on fucking Instagram just from being a fucking dickhead to people.
I tell you what, man, you got a platform here that I control the terms and services. You could say whatever the fuck you want today. Have at it. No, I'm here for all the controversy. So by all means, you got something you want to put out there that you don't feel comfortable putting it out on social media, let it the fuck go.
Well, I mean, like, I don't know if there's anything I don't feel super comfortable about putting out there. It's just like you have to word it the right way, and that doesn't have the same impact, right? Like if I were to get on Facebook, I would probably get banned by saying, hey, Joe Biden is a literal fucking lizard person, and you're all sucking his cloaca, which is like the fucking whole thing that lizards have because they don't have dicks, but you wouldn't know that because you're a fucking idiot and all you do is suck CNN's fucking cock. But I have to be a little more polite so that I don't get hit for it. So like, sheeple, does sheeple still get you? Critical thinkers.
Critical thinkers, sheeple, think stop. Anybody that starts a conversation and says, listen up, sheeple, they immediately lose all credibility with me.
Yeah.
Listen up, sheeple. I'll go fuck yourself. What are you, a wolf, a lion? Get the fuck out of here.
Maybe I am, dude. Have you ever seen me during the full moon? Yeah, that's right. You fucking haven't, because if you see me during a full moon, it'll be the last thing you ever fucking see, motherfucker.
All right. Joe Biden, lizard people. What's your thoughts on lizard people? Start off the bat.
Okay, so actual answer, probably not. However, metaphorical lizard people, yes, they are absolutely metaphorical lizard fucking people. They do not care about you. They want you to live and die as quietly as fucking possible. And if you raise any type of awareness to yourself, they will fucking eat you like a fucking Komodo dragon would.
Okay, I believe those people are real. I was going to ask you if your description of like actual lizard people like that was something like, you ever hear of psychic vampires, people that just drain your energy and shit like that?
Yes, they're called ex-girlfriends.
You got my producer on that one. Now, I don't think lizard people are a real thing, but I do think the reptilians have arrived.
Yeah. And if you get into the lore of that, it's kind of fucked up, because if you look at, what their mission is here, which is to, I'm speculating a little bit, but what it seems to be for me, from what I understand, is like, it looks like that there was some type of fucking god, right? Created the universe, created man in his image, also created other aliens in his image. But because the universe is going to do what it does and life finds a way, other things independently evolved out of nothing. And like, say, lizard people, the reptilians, would be one of these evolved independently thing. And they think that since humans or humanoids have souls, we get to an afterlife, as where when they die, they just fucking die. But if they eat enough of us, they'll gain a soul, and they won't go to heaven, but they might go to purgatory. And that's better than just dropping dead.
That's a much different theory than I've heard. I just thought they ate us because they were lizards and we're tasty little squishy things.
There's tasty squishy things all over the place, dude. Like if it was just tasty squishy things, like we'd be friends with them and we'd be eating fucking cows together. Yeah. But if we have a soul, which they have to do some like weird fucking ceremony, like, as some people would describe it, literally eating babies, that would get them to have a soul, then that would make the conspiracy theories make a lot of fucking sense. And our government's dealing with it because, they're not eating fucking rich people and fucking Mercedes. They're not eating fucking politicians. They're eating Jeb and fucking Frank and fucking Davon out in the fucking sticks. And so what if somebody saw them? That's some fucking dumb redneck or some fucking like inner city fucking trash. Yeah. Like, they're not going to believe them. You fucking psycho. Get off the drugs. There's no such thing as aliens, and they're not eating your babies. But the other thing is they're doing that in exchange for fucking technology, because it started off with they're going to come down, they're going to play both sides and make sure they win. So you talk to us and they talk to the fucking Soviets. Actually, if you looked at it before, they were talking to the Nazis, and then the Soviets were like, we have a lot more bodies to throw at this. We're going to make that a no. But, after World War II, it became, all right, so we got to talk to the Americans, we got to talk to the Soviets, and we're going to tell them that we're not talking to the other guy and kind of put him against each other. So hopefully that they destroy their planet and we can come in and take it. And I have a thing for why that is here in a minute, but that's kind of built it up to where we eventually got the right weapons to where we're in this like 4-way Mexican fucking standoff where we got like Reptilian Clan A, Reptilian Clan B, us, Russia, and then maybe the fucking Chinese all pointing guns at each other. And it's like, all right, anybody wants to fucking do anything stupid, we can do fucking stupid. But my other theory on that though is there's some type of, well, you know what the Nordic aliens are, right?
The like tall Icelandic, like tall white.
Yeah. They there's like this like space or galactic like United Nations type thing. And since we're not a developed planet, like we're effectively, fucking space fucking Venezuela, right?
Yeah, we're third world.
Yeah. But since we're a third world planet, we are protected under treaty from invasions from other races. But if we can nuke ourselves into oblivion, then we'll be deemed unresponsible and free for fucking taking. So if the reptilians can get us to fucking nuke each other into a nuclear apocalypse, they can come down in droves and literally fucking eat us like Terminator style.
Woo! You did not disappoint. I'm so happy I have had you on this episode. I will first off say, So I've heard of a base though, of an alien base, kind of like you mentioned, like United Nations base, but like in the United States underground somewhere.
Yeah, there's supposed to be one in not Duluth. No, it is Duluth. But it's not that Duluth. There's a Duluth, I think, in New Mexico that's got like a population of like 500 or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
But there used to be an air base there and a bunch of mines, and there's legends of people going down there and fighting, running into aliens. There's one dude that said that he went down there and shot one of them, and then he got like wounded on the way out. And he went around talking at UFO conventions and shit. I forget what his name was, but like he was talking about these at these UFO conventions for about a year before he mysteriously died. But he also had like really weird fucking like burn mark scars, and it's like that doesn't look like a fire scar. That doesn't look like an electrical burn scar. Maybe it was hot ramen, and you fucked yourself up with that because you know that those like spice packets like can do some like weird shit to your skin if you also put boiling water on it. Or maybe you're telling the truth. I don't fucking know.
You know, I don't get the fascination with people when they see something, even extended over into like cryptids. Why they always want to shoot it and kill it, like they want that much proof. You know what I mean? I would like to learn what I can from whatever it is first.
Well, from what I understand with him was he didn't shoot first.
Okay.
Got down there, like, what the fuck is this? And then you know they're like, oh fuck, someone found us. We got to kill him so he can't talk. And then he shot his way out, or that's his story.
See, I'm in a situation in my life where I don't have too many attachments, so I would love to stumble across something like that and be able to be like, whoa, I don't got no wife and kids. I can stay here. I don't ever got to leave. You know what I mean? And just like learn about alien shit for the rest of my goddamn life.
Yeah, until they take your brain out and put it like in a jar and then like study you because like, listen, like we go into the forest and jungles and we cut shit up to understand what it is. And then we have some other people that like to fuck sheep. What if both happens to you? All right, so we're going to dissect your leg to see how your cardiovascular system works in your extremities. At the same time, over here is going to be fisting you.
See, that's the only thing I worry about alien contact ever having it, because I know what we do to mice, what we do to, you know, chimpanzees, like all testing and brutal shit. And I know if they're coming to visit us, we're not nearly as advanced as they are. Because now we can't even technically see them, or so we can't. You know what I mean? So we're told. But, you know, at the same time, though, like our technology is, depending on when we're talking about it, at least 40 years more advanced than what the public is privy to. Oh, yeah, I believe that. I believe that wholeheartedly. The one thing I will say I've been disappointed about this administration that may be coming to a close is that I thought if any president was going to drop the ball and put the shit out there, I thought Trump was going to be telling about aliens and all types of crazy shit.
No, you can't do that, because what I think is immediately after they swear you in, they take you to a back room and they show you this other footage that no one else has seen, where there's these two gray aliens on the grassy knoll taking out JFK, and they're like, "Hey, look, you can talk if you want, but there's gonna be some consequences." You see Yub Nub and Bleak, the chronographer. Yeah, they like all three. They're like little wiry fingers and like.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, the shit he ran his mouth about wasn't anything really important. It was a bunch of braggadocious and ego-driven shit.
Yeah. Now there was some good things that Trump did do. One of the things I would point out is something I didn't know about until I heard Michael Moore, of all fucking people, talking about it. And
wow. Okay.
I don't know where you're at on the political spectrum. Like, you know, I know you said you voted for Jorgensen, but like on it, but I think Michael Moore's a fucking left-wing fucking nutbag. But he was talking about, he understood why Trump won, because there was a factory in fucking Michigan that was like, hey, we're going to take all these fucking cars, or this factory, we're going to move it to fucking Mexico, and you guys can go work at fucking McDonald's. I don't give a shit. Fuck off. And he went up to fucking Michigan and said, hey, listen, if you guys do that, I'm going to put so many fucking tariffs on here. Fucking GM is going to go out of fucking business. So they kept their factories open because Trump fucking threatened them for American jobs. So
I will say I've seen most of Michael Moore's films. I was a bigger fan of him before I learned a lot of his shit in his movies was like really super staged.
Yeah, like that thing where it's like if you
the bank open an account, you get a gun.
Yeah, he didn't even get a gun from that bank. He had to go borrow somebody else's and just walked out of it.
Yeah, and they handed it to him. Like, and usually you had to fill out something and they would mail it to you. Like, there's a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
And anybody who's an extremist, I don't care if they're extremists to the far right, to the far left. If you're an extremist, I only got so much patience for you, really.
Yeah. Well, I will half agree with you on that. If you have a cogent, well thought out argument, I will listen to it. Because whether or not I agree with you or not, it's like, okay, all right, well, this person at least I might not agree with them or do what they want me to do, but I'll sit there and listen look, I got like this whole fucking 10-step thing. Here's my reasoning for it. Here's my secondary and tertiary effects for what would happen if we did this. And then this was led to by this, this, and that. And that's why we have to stop squeezing dogs.
Yeah. No, I agree with that on some point, because I listen to people I don't agree with, either for entertainment value or to try and learn another perspective.
Yeah.
Like I listen to Alex Jones, Ben Shapiro, Louis Farrakhan, like anybody that's got a crazy opinion, I'll give a little bit of attention to. Just first off, Alex Jones is fucking hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you take him seriously, you're a nut, but he is hilarious.
Yeah, no, the other thing, though, too, is if you don't look at both sides, you're putting yourself in an echo chamber and you are being intentionally ignorant.
I agree with that 100%. Yeah. I try to listen to, multiple perspectives, and that's how I come to my opinions.
Right.
I'm not like, oh, Charlie says it's good, I'm riding with Charlie. You got to know your own shit,
Like, what are Charlie's credentials on this, real quick?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like
now, if Charlie took apart an F-150 and built a fucking fighter jet out of it with duct tape and super glue, yeah, dude, fucking tell me all the fuck you want to fucking talk to me about fucking engineering. I'm fucking in. I don't know how the fuck you did that. Like, witchcraft was involved, but
yeah, no, I dig it. I was recently down in Texas, and my sister and her husband and the general vibe of people, they were very conservative.
Where are you at?
Much different from what I'm at in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I was down in like Central Texas.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
And I was able to have a lot of conversations with people, and it's fascinating because unlike some people I've spoken to up here, if you disagree with them, they don't immediately start screaming in your face.
Yeah.
But what I learned is it seems like the big issues, especially, there's two different conversations going on. Like up here with abortion, and do what you want, I'm pro-choice. But up here with like really left people, they're like woman's choice, woman's body, woman's choice. Fine, I agree, 100%. Down in Texas, the conservatives I spoke with are not giving a fuck about a woman's body or choice. They're not even thinking about that. They are completely saying we are against all dead babies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if we could have some type of get together where people don't fucking scream in each other's face, you might understand each other a little more.
Right. But the thing with that, though, is like in any given conversation, you have far this side. And when if you're over here, if you're arguing with these people, you're not trying to change these people's minds. You're trying to change the listeners in the middle's minds.
Yeah. I try and think of myself as someone who's fairly centered, fairly balanced. And the verbal abuse I have gotten from both sides this year have been fucking absurd.
I get called a hippie and a Nazi in the same fucking hour. Dude, I'm doing something right.
Bro, I was called alt-right and a libtard in the same day. Yeah. Like, what the fuck are you guys talking about?
Yeah, which one is it?
If you don't agree with someone 100%, they just immediately, oh, you're a Nazi piece of trash. Like, get what?
One of my favorite things about that, though, is how people get labeled either Nazis or communists, and then other people will, and by people I mean Americans in our political other people are like, yeah, dude, no, I am a communist, or yeah, dude, no, like fucking let's bring back a fucking Fourth Reich. However, what I think's the funniest thing about that is if you look at what actual, say, Soviet policies were, or what fucking Nazi policies were, on either side, those people will be the first people to go to fucking death camps. Because like, let's do both, right? So your average American communist is a fucking mid to early 20s fucking political science or a fucking journalist major or an artist. And I don't know if you knew anything about the Great Purge, but they either got lined up on a wall and shot, sent to a gulag, or both. And then the people that would identify as Nazis, I'm not saying fucking everybody on the right's a Nazi. I'm talking like actual fucking like runs around with a fucking swastika. Yeah. They are normally the kind of people that don't have a lot of education, fucking aren't physically built well, which is a fucking big thing with them. And
I know I'm going to get a call from a very in shape, intelligent Nazi running his mouth about this episode.
dude, well, fucking bring him on and talk to him. But 99% of those people would be fucking round up and shot or fucking sent to a camp. It's like, dude, listen, Stalin and Hitler, neither one of them want you.
Mm-hmm. That's absolutely true. I love the people that are like whites of the superior race, but they're like 350 pounds and can't walk up a flight of fucking steps.
No, and now if you can fucking literally pick up a fucking pickup truck, all right, cool. Listen, like, I don't agree with you, but like, I respect your fucking argument because you're bringing your ass to it, you know? Like, you're putting your money where your mouth is. I don't like that you're saying that, but fine.
Yeah, if Captain America just decided to start saying that, it would be hard to argue with him.
Yeah,
well, you can fucking lift up a car and throw it. So
yeah,
I can't do that.
Yeah. The other fucking thing I always thought was fucking funny about Captain America, especially in the movies, which I fucking love him to death, but his thing with Nick Fury, you have to remember this dude got frozen in 1945. Why wasn't his first question, why are we taking orders from a black dude? I mean, because he got frozen before the invasion ended.
I hear what you're saying. I like to believe the integrity of his character. He looked at every man equally.
No, I would too, but like products of times, you know.
So that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
Like you're breaking my heart. Cap's my favorite character.
No, me too, because he's an actual hero, as to where most others are anti-heroes nowadays.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. Like I don't know. I love his moral compass. Is what drives me.
My moral compass, however, is in the Bermuda Triangle. So
yeah, mine has been very shifty over the years. It's been hard to pinpoint down where it actually is.
Yeah,
I'm trying to move it to the better, wherever the fucking good side is.
Yeah, wherever the fucking magnets go. But yeah, no, that's the other thing, because like there isn't a good side in America. It's like you're either on this side or that, and then both have their virtues, but both are also fucking super fucked up. So,
yeah, both have flaws.
Yeah,
you know, there was and I'm talking about extreme cases right here, and that's what that's what a lot of people use, you know, in their arguments. If you're a hardcore conservative, you use extreme cases of liberalism, or if you're a hardcore liberal, blah blah blah. But you know, especially like at a Ben Shapiro conference where he has his little videos where he answers questions. A lot of these people asking questions are so full of shit. They're like, you know, why should you own 3 houses when he doesn't have a house? We should come and take it. Like, whoa, calm down.
Because jobs are a thing, and I hate to break it to you, but the world works a certain way. Fucking get off your ass and work, or don't. And that's 2 points I'm going to break up on this one. Like, for the religious types, I think Paul said, "Thou who does not work shall not eat." B, fucking, if we want to go into like a atheist communist fucking society, same thing. Like, communism only works. Okay, technically it doesn't fucking work, but
there we go.
Works. It can only work if the communists are farmers and factory workers.
Let me tell you how communism works. The only way communism works is on paper.
Yeah, but everything works on paper. Fucking Nazism works really good on paper.
I mean, it worked really good in real life for a while for some people.
Yeah.
It's just depending on how you look at it. Now, I don't agree, but I'm sure some of those guys were like, this shit's going great.
Now, communism, though, is something that I think, maybe not communism, socialism, though, will be a thing at some point once automation's fucking taken over and there are no actual jobs left and robots do everything. And we have to socialize, because it's like, I can't get a job because robots are doing it. Like, the only jobs there are like
robot repair.
no, like robot repair. Because like, you'd have your robot and then you'd have another robot to repair that robot. And you have like one dude that like fucking does quality control checks for like 10,000 fucking robots.
It'd be like the guy who still fixes the big box TVs.
Yeah.
There's like
now, granted, this probably won't be for fucking 300 or 400 fucking years, but at some point it will be a thing. However, right now is not the fucking time or place for it.
Yeah, man, I really wish, like, at the bottom of everything, I wish we could just live beside each other and not try and fucking kill each other because we have different opinions. I'm sick of that shit.
Yeah. No, and the other thing is, like, people like to bring up Star Trek for, like, you know, the golden fucking socialist fucking paradise. It's like, yeah, but you also have to keep in mind that they have boxes that make food.
Yeah, they can also teleport.
Yeah, so
like, that doesn't fucking parlay to me, buddy.
Yeah,
until we can get that shit, I'm not buying the whole package.
Right.
You know. Let me ask you, Tripp, where can the people find you?
So hopefully, depending on when or where you listen to this, you can find me on Instagram at Tripp Ainsworth, or on Facebook as Tripp Smokepit, or if you want to look for my podcast anywhere you find podcast Tripp Smokepit, there's too. Or if you go to smokepitfairytales.com, all those links are in there for that.
Okay. That's the links to your books, merch, and all that, everything too.
Yep.
Okay. And what's the? I seen you had a special package you were selling.
Yeah. So I got this thing called the War Chest, and it's all 6 of my books stuffed inside of a custom painted ammo can, and there's like some postcards and stickers and shit in it too. And then with that, everybody that buys one of those, I keep your address, and then like every next batch I make, like I'll make a new postcard for it, and then I'll send a postcard to everyone who bought one in the past.
Oh, that's dope. So you keep the collection going.
Yep.
Okay, don't miss out on that, guys. I posted pictures of that. It's great. Check it out. It's a great deal. I'm not sure how much it is.
$200, and that's including shipping. Like my website won't let me edit shipping costs for some reason, or else it'd be cheaper. But you know, they cost me like $30 to ship. So
okay, that's a dope deal. It's all good merchandise.
Yeah, but like, what is it? If you bought all 6 of those books, that would be about $100. You know, and then like an ammo can's like $20. Then I got to paint it and throw all that other shit in there. So like at the end of the day, I'm not making too much money on it, but I think they're cool. So
yeah, definitely. Make sure you guys check him out. Check out his podcast, Smokepit Fairytales. We have a great lineup closing out the month here. Next week we have Brian Seach, friend of the podcast and cryptozoologist, coming back. He's going to be talking about legendary birds and thunderbirds.
Nice.
Then the week after that, we have the lead MUFON investigator for the state of West Virginia, a former guest on the program, Mr. Fred Saluga, coming back, and he's going to be talking about Bigfoot. Guys, we're on all streaming services. You can check us out at inquisitiveminds.com. That's INQUIZATIVE, minds.com. Check out the merch store. Grab a t-shirt. They look dope. Help support the podcast. And hire Tenacious Detail for all your automotive detailing needs. Check us out on facebook.com/Tenacious Detail PGH. Thank you, everybody, for listening.